Hello, everybody, and it's been quite a long time, but we are back with General Blue and King Cold, featuring a guest this time. Say hello.
Hello. Good evening.
It's evening where we are, anyway.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, this is Bad Animation Boorus joining us, as we're going to be discussing the Dragon Ball superhero movie.
I see how it is. I'm not cool enough to get full name fucking
Your name is long.
introductions.
Our names are like 2 words.
I shall serenade the glory of my name. I will not be insulted. Bad Animation Boorus, the stonkest cat. There we go.
Anyway, so Bruce and my twins, we might sound the same, so we'll try not to talk over each other.
Truthfully, your voices don't sound that similar. Like, I can at least reasonably tell you guys apart.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, the movie, Boris and I saw it subbed, because that was the only listing they had at the time, and we weren't gonna wait an extra like hour and a half for it dubbed. So sorry, not sorry about watching it.
See, that's interesting, because as of now, I've only seen it dubbed, so I actually didn't get a chance to see how it compared with the subtitle version.
The subs were actually on the movie screen. They were really big and they lingered long enough to be read like multiple times, and I'm happy about that because I swear some titles were literally was speed by like a bullet, and it's like, oh cool, didn't get to read that.
Yeah, I know that when I saw the Demon Slayer movie in theaters last year, I saw that subbed, and I didn't have an issue with the subtitles like vanishing or anything.
Yeah,
Subtitles were very clear and easy to read. I feel like you'd have to be kind of a knucklehead not to be able to read those subtitles, but
I mean, I do prefer my stuff dubbed in the end. Anyways, so I gotta close a window here. Nah, I'm good. Anyway, so the movie was like a Piccolo. That was like the most Piccolo movie I've ever seen in my life.
Secret Agent Piccolo, the movie,
Yeah,
like, without a doubt.
Agent Double OP, Strike of Namekian, like that's what that movie was. But like, for me, I love that the movie focused so much on Piccolo and Pan. Gohan is kind of a side character, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I still think what they did with Gohan was passable. You know, like it's whatever. I don't hate the fact that both Piccolo and Gohan got a new form, but Piccolo's had more like story justification for it than Gohan's did. I feel like Piccolo got the guru pulled out of him or whatever by Shenron, you know. It's like Gohan kind of he basically just went Super Saiyan, but again, you know, it's like, it was cool though. Like,
yeah,
I like Beast Gohan just because it had that really cool moment of how he killed Cell Max and all
it was a nice
that.
moment, but like with how his rage worked, you think he would have just, like, I almost hate to say it, you think I would have just shot him up to Super Saiyan 3 in some regards, and then it wouldn't have made a separate form altogether.
No, they want to do a separate form. People have been asking for unique forms for Gohan and Piccolo as early as like the first arc of GT, and it's been like a long time coming. I think
don't blame him.
Piccolo getting a form through the Dragon Balls. Like, I know in the manga, Dragon Ball Super's manga, they've recently done like Gas and Granola getting stronger through the Dragon Balls. But like, out of all the characters that do it, Piccolo being a Namekian, who his lineage is tied to the balls and all that, that's like way more acceptable for me.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, because like at one
from
point,
a lore standpoint.
At one point he had to be alive for the balls to work, and his forefathers and stuff have been making Dragon Balls with their clans and all that. So like a Namekian using them to get stronger is fine. I know that just makes sense to me.
I've noticed recently they've been having the Dragon Balls just kind of do more things with less restriction recently. Like, I doubt the Earth Dragon Balls will be like, the Super Dragon Ball levels of just like, yeah, you can just go do whatever with them. But they clearly are just doing more with them.
I think it's because they couldn't use him to resolve conflicts earlier. Like, way as far back as the Saiyan saga, you know, they gathered the Dragon Balls, and it's like, wait, can't they just kill the other two Saiyans on the way here? No, yeah, apparently that's beyond his power. Yes, it's beyond your power to just have an asteroid change trajectory in space and hit their space pods.
Literally.
Apparently that's something you can't do.
That's been the issue with having magic wish granting orbs in your plot line of, hey, why can't these magic orbs just do this? You know, it's like...
Well, actually, I'm gonna veer slightly off topic for a second. There's one continuity gaffe that they had, I think they forgot in modern times, but it wasn't really applicable for a while. Now, in original Dragon Ball, they said that if somebody died, they would have to be brought back by the Dragon Balls.
Oh my god,
one
somebody
year.
actually remembers that. Holy shit.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And that's why when Krillin died in the King Piccolo saga, Bulma had like some kind of embalming capsule that she put his body in so he wouldn't decay. And this wasn't really brought up again because when the other Z Fighters died, they like faded away, went to King Kai's planet, with one exception. During the Buu saga, at least in the manga, when Gohan was struggling against Super Buu, and they said that Goku should go and try to help him, Supreme Kai outright said, no, he's been dead 7 years, so even with the Dragon Balls, he can't come back to life. And that's when Elder Kai relinquished his life over to Goku. That was a way of bypassing that restriction.
Oh my god, I literally forgot about that. That's... My mind... You just, like, opened a core memory, because I remember complaining about that years ago on the page about retcons in Dragon Ball, because people complain about retcons all the time with Super. And this movie, so this movie, they do the Dr. Gero family tree, right?
Yes.
And one thing I had to like tell some of my friends who saw the movie with me, this was they were jumping up and down thinking Fighter Z is like a canonical story. Just because Android 21's like face appears in the movie doesn't mean the character Android 21 is canon. The person she's based off existed. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Like, 16 wasn't actually Jero's son, he was just modeled after him.
I think the movie actually finally confirmed that Android 16, like, that was that is true. Like, I saw, like, the family tree, and it was, like, Jero, what looks like Android 16, or, like, the people at Android 16 and 21 are based off of the two silhouettes, the doctor, I can't say his name, the little chubby doctor that was...
Yeah, like, 16 himself isn't the original son, he was just built in the same image of his son, is what I meant, if I misspoke that.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Dude, the Gammas almost stole the show for the movie, though.
Gamma 2 is definitely the MVP. I do feel like, I think they wanted to make him more significant, though. So Gamma 1, I feel, didn't really have enough dialogue to get a feel for him. That's probably because they're gonna use him more later. I mean, I hope they're gonna use him later and not just chuck him aside, but in this movie, Gamma 1 was largely overshadowed by Gamma 2, I think.
That's intentional.
Although I did like the running joke of that assistant guy Carmine being an egomaniac.
That was funny. There are a few things I like is the movie wasn't nearly as like in-your-face action as Broly was, because the Broly movie didn't really have much time to like breathe when it came to pacing, because it was just action, and everything was setting up this giant fight. But we got to see more slice of life. We need more slice of life scenes in Dragon Ball for 1. For 2, I like is the one to call Gohan out on his like shit. He's like, you should be training this, that. Also, the timeline of this movie really confuses me because Pan is 3.
Yeah.
And Goten and Trunks are taller now. So
they literally did say, quote, they just kind of shoot up like weeds, so yeah.
No. It's just, so there's like end of Z purists. Right. I'm definitely one of them. Nowhere near as toxic as other people, but there are people who are like expecting this big cataclysmic event in Super to, and this has been said since like ROF for some reason by the fans, but there are people expecting like Super to reset so GT can be canonized by end of Z, and I'm like, I think the anime is going to take the Granola arc and Moro arc and just shoot past End of Z, and if that happens, people are gonna have a fucking field day.
I hate to say, but even if it does canonize the last episode of Z, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to lead into GT. Like, Goku and Oob could go off training like they do, and then a year later, instead of 7, some new cataclysmic threat happens, and who knows, something massive changes, so we don't necessarily get the GT story as a result.
My theory...
GT fans have been eating well for decades, but whatever.
Well, not decades, like, yeah, probably 20 years now, but it doesn't matter. One thing I'm actually interested on, though, is because of Pan and Trunks and Goten's age, is like, so I reread the Moro arc recently, because you know the Granola arc just finished. I decided to reread the Moro arc, and it's better than I remember, but it's also like a little weird because it's like if the anime is going to adapt the manga, I think the Moro arc would actually benefit passing Z's ending, so that way we can finally break past that little barrier and stop dealing with like people who just wank off that section of the manga, so that way we can just finally get into new territory.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, Super's been doing really good in the whole new territory department, but could always be better, I suppose. At the end of the day, though, jumping back to talking about the fucking movie, I think one of the more cool aspects of it was just the CGI was beautiful. You know, I was hesitant on it being complete CGI too, like a lot of others, but it looked great. Genuinely looked great. Like, I just really can't see why people wouldn't be like happy with it at this point. It was very beautiful looking, very colorful and vibrant, like Dragon Ball's always been. It also, other than like one scene that was through Pan's perspective near the end of the movie, like, you know, it was like her flying around, I really didn't have many quarrels with it. Maybe I'm just built different, but
I don't know. Yeah. I had someone try telling me that it looked like the opening to Budokai Tenkaichi 2, and I was like,
yo, can I play on your PlayStation?
Yeah, can I play your PlayStation? Because it did not look like that.
I think that the Earth scenes were fine. The only part I can see people having somewhat of an issue with was the scenes on Beerus's planet, because Beerus and Whis do look a lot more plasticky in this, but for the most part, you know, you mentioned Tenkaichi. The art style we've seen so far isn't too out of line, more just like HD versions of Tenkaichi, I guess, which we also need, by the way, but for the most part, it wasn't out of line with Dragon Ball models we've seen up until this point, and even then, you know, Beerus and Whis looked a little more plasticky, but that's kind of how they looked in, I guess, maybe Xenoverse 1 and, what was the other one called, Battle of Z?
Battle of Z is a relic of an age long forgotten.
I remember that game being so hyped, and then 2 weeks after it came out, literally nobody ever talked about it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to say they look like Xenoverse models, because I don't think... The movie definitely looks better than the high HD cutscenes Xenoverse has. I actually wouldn't be surprised if they took that style from the Xenoverse cutscenes and just judged it up for a movie.
Well, not so much the cutscenes, I'm talking like the in-game models, and even then, they don't look quite the same as the Xenoverse models. It's just, you know, they were kind of bulky and they didn't fully mesh with the anime.
I noticed Beerus had the Broly art style on his face with the nose. But Beerus,
Beerus was a darker shade of purple in the movie, it looked like. Could have been the theater react, but Beerus looked like he was a bit darker in terms of purple. His original is kind of like a grayish purple, but Beerus, I don't know, I just think Beerus looked good. My issue is more Whis and the red suit guy, I forgot his name, their hair looked kind of
magenta.
Weird.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the guy with the curly ups pointing up. I like that they're training Broly, by the way, because that's something that's actually incredible. Now I know Broly didn't do anything in the movie besides watch them spar, but I like that Goku, Vegeta, and Broly aren't, like, they're just removed from the movie. Goku didn't come in and save the day. He didn't steal the fucking show like he did in ROF or any of that shit. They're just removed from the plot, and they have perfect excuses for why. It's not like some big contrivance.
I'm almost wondering and I don't think that they would have thought this far ahead on purpose. He legitimately wouldn't have had much else to do with the way the movie was scripted. But part of me can't help wonder if, and I'm not going to harp too long on this, but I can't help wonder if the reason Broly had such little dialogue in the movie was because of the voice recast, because if you guys didn't watch the English version, it was Johnny Young Bosch doing the voice.
Of
It was
Broly?
the whole Vic Mignogna thing.
Yeah.
That's still relevant? Jesus.
I mean, yeah, he's more or less been exiled from the anime community at this point after the verdicts. So, yeah, Bosch has been the voiceover since... I know he took over for, like, the sound bites in Fighter Z when Super Broly got added, and then... The first time I watched the movie, I actually didn't really notice any difference, and then I thought about it. Second time around, yeah, you can tell that his voice is a little higher up. It's not quite his... It's not Bosch's Vash the Stampede voice exactly, but, you know, you'll start to notice it when he gets more dialogue in the future.
Oh, that's upsetting. I like Vic Mignogna as an actor. Ironically, I've been watching a lot of anime where he was like a leading role, like a Vampire Knight and Fullmetal Alchemist. Kind of funny.
Oh, the whole Vic Mignogna thing's something I don't talk about. It's just like fuck that.
I'm not going back down that rabbit hole.
I don't want to get too far into it. Don't get me wrong. I just felt like bringing it up because I know that in Japan they probably weren't that concerned with the whole thing going down, but part of me can't help wonder if maybe that was like a slight factor in how they scripted the dialogue for that scene.
True. We still haven't gotten like an actual behind the scenes for what happens with Dragon Ball from the west to the east. I would love to see that. Anyways, one thing I did notice in the interviews with Toriyama is that he said Orange Piccolo and Gohan's forms are now equal to at least Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta. So that kind of debunks the whole Gohan's equal to Goku in the Tournament of Power. Unless I'm wrong, but like Orange Piccolo, like, I know Orange Piccolo's like a silly name, but I don't know. There's something about Piccolo's new form.
Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan Red. Ooh.
Super Saiyan 4, 3, 2, 1. Anyways, no, but like I really like Piccolo's new form, dude. He like just Piccolo was such an all-star in this fucking movie, and it was so good to see. I loved seeing every second of Piccolo on screen. Him dressing up as a new like Red Ribbon agent and all that, trying to fly the plane. That shit was just hilarious, and it was just so in character for something I really liked in the, I don't know if they did this in dub, but in the sub they called him the Demon King Piccolo, and that just like tickled my fancy so much.
Yeah, that was a nice attention to detail. On the topic of him thinking ahead, I like that one moment where after Pan punches the army agent, Piccolo comes in, he's like, yeah, Satan's trying to beef up security, sorry for not telling you ahead of time. Like, that was actually a good excuse. Side note, I don't know what her name was in the sub, I assume it's the same, but I gotta love how there's already fan art of Piccolo and Janet, Pan's teacher, because they had one freaking interaction at this point.
Oh, so the fan base is creepy and weird. Got it. Yep. Thanks,
what
guys.
Else is new?
Also,
dude, I've started to notice that Dragon Ball, it feels like it's giving more Americanized names to some of the background characters. Like, first we had Barry from the Super Filler episodes, and now we have Janet. It's probably not going to be like a recurring trend. I'm just curious to see how many more examples we can find.
That would be cool. I'm hoping we find Bob.
Bob.
I hope we fight Baba Yaga as well. You know.
You're right.
I hope we fight Jim Bob. You know, just.
Yeah, go change the Hank.
Jumping back to like the main story of Dragon Ball superheroes. I like how Magenta basically gaslit Jiro's grandson into working with him by lying to him about the motives of Bulma and crew and all that jazz. I thought that was actually really clever because it's like, you know, we never really did get to see the Red Ribbon Army's perspective on Bulma and them. We just had to accept the fact that they were, you know, it's like, hey, they're Goku and Bulma kind of beat the shit out of the Red Ribbon Army, so yeah.
They always wanted revenge, and Actually, side note to that, can we acknowledge how Magenta in the dub was played by Charles Martinet? So Martinet's getting more dialogue in a Dragon Ball movie.
I need to watch the dub now.
Martinet's getting more dialogue in a Dragon Ball movie than what he's probably gonna get in the Mario Bros. Movie, which, for anyone listening to this, quote me on this, Martinet's probably gonna make a cameo in that movie as Mario and Luigi's father, or something like that. That's a thesis I have, and I'm willing to put it on the line. But yeah, his Magenta voice was only it was only like a little bit removed from his Waluigi voice. It wasn't as over the top, but you could still tell it was there.
Oh my god, no, he's right. I remember hearing about this back when the movie was getting announced, and there was a bunch of people going, LOL, Martinet's got a role in this movie as the main villain, and blah blah blah, but not as Mario. Like, I remember that now. Yeah, that just trudged up some fucking memories. I gotta watch it up now.
Sorry, but that's actually hysterical to me to think about. Like, I'm trying to think about it from like a perspective, like people who like get way too passionate about like hating this movie, and they're like, "Oh, fucking Mario voice actor!" Like,
I don't know. I think the coolest fact of the Dragon Ball Super movie, though, it was Piccolo. I was gonna say Gohan, but Gohan, he was alright in the movie, but I feel like he didn't have that big of a role, you know? It just felt like he was just kind of there.
yeah, Gohan's like my only complaint about the movie. Gohan fans got really uppity about it too. They were like, "This is gonna be a Gohan movie." And I was like, "No."
I don't know why it would be, but sure.
That's not entirely out of line for what we've normally seen, though, because in the Android Saga, well, I guess the second half anyway, Gohan was the one who won everything, but for the first half of the saga, he was basically, he might as well not have even been there, because he wasn't involved in any of the early fights, and pretty much everyone shrugged him off as just being a kid until he got out of the time chamber, and he was a Super Saiyan, they could sense his power was incredible.
Yeah, it wasn't until they were like, "Hey, Gohan, now you can be plot relevant."
Yeah, it's like, oh, Bulma's jet flew up? Gohan, get on out of here, little kid. Go take her home while the adults handle this fight.
That ass.
Fucking imagine if that's what happened, like, Gohan in this movie. Oh my god, people would have lost their minds.
I would laugh my ass off, but that's more because I'm mean.
But, no, Gohan, I like the little reference they did to Super Saiyans with, like, he found this ant that gives off energy, transforms like a Super Saiyan. And he's like, "Isn't that cool?" And Piccolo's like, "I don't care. You're a fucking nerd. You need to train in these peace times." One thing I think I said this earlier, that I'm still wondering about now that I've seen the movie is, like, the new anime is supposed to debut and all that, and we have so much material that the anime has to catch up on. And I really hope the anime carries, like, from the movie. So that way we can see all these characters and plotlines be realized a little more.
I just cost myself a game there. Sorry, I'm simulating Yu-Gi-Oh over here to keep my brain stimulated because I'm tired from work. Anyway.
Been there.
What? Hey man. One of the bigger things of the movie was obviously the Cell Max fight. Like, I didn't know about Cell Max until the movie. I avoided spoilers enough, so that was good.
That shit was spoiled for me so fast, man.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah. I had someone DM King Cold, like, screenshots of the movie, and I didn't know what they were until they loaded it, and I was like, I like ranted on the page. I threw like a huge temper tantrum, dude. Oh my god, I was pissed. Go on.
Yeah, I would be too. One of the things though is that one of my favorite fights before Cell Max was Gamma 1 and 2 versus Gohan and Piccolo. That was a really well done fight. The rain looked really nice. Oh, excuse me. The rain looked quite nice during that scene especially, and I think one of my favorite things about it was that we just got to see Gohan and Piccolo work together while Gohan was wearing like Piccolo's cool ass garb and whatnot. Gohan did the typical Dragon Ball fanfare thing of, oh, I'm gonna go through my motions of transformations. He started off, in like Super Saiyan, he went Super Saiyan 1, kind of jumped to Ultimate and all that.
Can I just add on to
And they
that
had-
for a second? The scene with the rain. So when Gohan powers up and gets enraged, he like breaks the Red Ribbon Army's disguise dome, and the rain stops. So that means that they were so extra, they just had to animate a rain, a rain weather pattern specifically for their overdramatic fight scene.
That's awesome. That's actually amazing. And if I become a supervillain, I'm doing that 100%.
One thing I gotta say about like the fight scenes in this movie is when they're focusing on like Gohan and them, we actually saw some like, now I know Dragon Ball hasn't done like actual martial arts simulated in an animated form for a long time, and they didn't really do it to begin with, but we did see some unique things that other anime do. Like we actually watched Gohan put like Gamma 1 in a headlock and like suplex him and shit, and I'm like, can we just get more of like that in some of the like hand-to-hand fights before they start doing all the big transformation death memes? Which I'm cool with the death memes. I like just like Goku versus Jiren. They had like they had like minor grappling and shit like that, and like really smooth like roundhouses and shit. And this movie had a lot of that too, and I just want to see it more. Like one of the best moments for me is when they have Piccolo's arm snaking up to grab Cell Mask. Whoever animated that, they were just like, I'm gonna make this the fire.
I did also notice the spar between Goku and Vegeta on Beerus's planet. The first time I watched it, I didn't really notice anything, but I saw a few like subtle kind of wrestling and kung fu moves present throughout their fight. I know it was only a small chunk of the movie, but still, it was kind of nice how they did keep them entirely hand-to-hand in that segment.
Oh, I liked it. I was kind of annoyed we had Goku and Vegeta fight at all in the movie, but that's more because of the fact that I didn't really want to see much of any of them, But
I've seen so many Vegeta and Goku copers who were like, oh, they should have showed up at the final fight. I didn't actually like the final fight very much. Not that it was like bad, but it felt like the Wrath of Dragon final fight, where it's just like a big dumb action set piece that looks amazing for the protagonist to overcome, and then like that's it.
I got a quick rant about something that I noticed that the community absolutely lost their minds when they watched this scene leaked. But okay, so the part where Fat Gotenks gets knocked around like a ball and causes damage to Cell Max's head. So people have problems with that scene because they think power scaling wise, in their minds, they think it means fat base form Gotenks is strong enough to severely damage Cell Max. Have you guys ever seen any superhero media where Superman or the Hulk chucks a car at a villain? Like, the car's not the thing that hurts the villain, it's the fact that it just got propelled at several 100,000 miles an hour by a superpowered deity. That's what happened. He got yeeted by Gamma 1 directly into Cell Max's head with the force of gravity also backing him up. It's his weight that did the thing, not him as an individual.
That's a lot of words to say. Haha, Fat Gotenks crack Cell's head, but each their own. Like that scene was literally pure comedic relief and worked in a funny way into the main combat to show that Cell Max's the top of his head was in fact his weak point. Like
they also make special note that he's not finished, and Dr. Hedro, however the fuck you say him, say his name.
Heterosexual.
Well, I did not mean it like that. Well, that's the quote for the. Anyways, they made special note that he made his head significantly weaker if they can't control him. And they make special notice of it multiple times during the fight. And the fact that there's people trying to power scale it is something that just it really
Power
shows. So
scaling just doesn't matter to Dragon Ball. It hasn't mattered for ages, and I just don't understand this rabid obsession with making sure the power scaling matches. It's like, come on,
for
guys,
goodness
it's
sakes,
Dragon
like
Ball.
right after they introduced the Super Saiyan, again, go back to the Android saga. Android 19 takes power from Super Saiyan Goku, quite a lot of it. One kick from base form Vegeta is enough to not only completely knock him aside, it leaves a permanent boot mark on his face the rest of the fight. And that's before Vegeta even went Super Saiyan, so like, what the heck?
Was that
no.
base? That doesn't matter. I just when
So
I
this-
hear power scaling, my eyes glaze over, and I think, oh my god, stop! Just stop it.
Yeah,
It doesn't
this is
matter.
actually getting in. So this is actually getting in, like, why I'm taking a break from the community. Like, just from posting on the page for a while, and I've noticed, and I don't know why, but it's like Dragon Ball's like the one anime people literally don't watch. And I don't mean people
JoJo's is just as bad.
No,
Some
no,
of the things JoJo fans say really make you go, "What the hell are you on about?"
yeah, no, but like, there were people telling me that Beast Gohan's gonna be a precursor to Super Saiyan 4 for a primal Saiyan true form, and Piccolo's gonna become a Namekian god, and I'm like, did we watch the same movie? Like, I've come to realize, like, Dragon Ball Super and like Dragon Ball in general, many people don't like the people who are like, oh, I'm a big fan of the show, and then they like pull out their calculator for math equations. It's like, yeah, you're not watching the show. You're just making sure your little fucking power-ups.
Headcanon of how the power up should work. I don't know. I just always found power scaling to be personally just to be a really weird way to enjoy, because it's like, oh yes, my calculations and all this are being proved in the canon or some goofy nonsense. It's like, okay, if that's what you want in life, who am I to tell you how to sleep at night? But kind of missing the forest for the trees.
Nah, well, another big thing is, like, so many people, like, I guess a lot of people just came in this movie wanting to hate it because it was CGI.
Yeah, I noticed that, and it made me quite angry.
There were
It's
a
like,
lot of complaints about the CG ahead of time, yeah.
I mean, watching the movie on a fucking shitty cell phone leak from, like, Japan on the internet isn't even the same as watching it in the HD IMAX movie theater, so whatever.
Or heck, even when the thing comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, you know, that's gonna be better quality than whatever bootleg capture the people got.
I would fucking hope so. Jesus, if it wasn't, I'd laugh.
Yeah, right. No, but it's so weird that, like, so many people, what's it called? I just assume
We're
they, like,
down on the movie before it came. Like, they hear CGI and they think of those kind of gross-looking scenes in Dragon Ball Super Broly, where Gogeta and Broly were CGI for a few scenes, yucking it up, slapping each other around. And I can see why you'd probably think, oh god, not all CGI. But also, it's just like, come on, just stop.
yeah, it's funny how this movie took 5 years to make, and people think it was gonna look like fucking a Budokai Tenkaichi cutscene. It's like, you're a fucking idiot.
I never really heard the Budokai Tenkaichi cutscene comparison. I heard more like, oh, it looks like Xenoverse, even though Xenoverse is a lot blockier and
Xenoverse actually looks like shit compared to the movie. Like, I play Xenoverse
Yeah.
religiously, and when I heard people say it looks like Xenoverse, I'm like, what? Like, I need whatever version of Xenoverse they're playing, because that sounds like an amazing version of Xenoverse. A version of Xenoverse that looks good.
yeah. Whoa.
God, Xenoverse doesn't look good since Xenoverse 1, and it looked outdated then because that was on a PS3. Oh god, that was on a PS3. We all started turning to dust rapidly. Ah!
Destiny came out in 2014. For anyone who was wondering.
No one.
Shut up.
Oh yeah, turning to dust. So, you think the reason that Gamma 2 faded away Thanos style was like some kind of failsafe that Hedo's tech couldn't be used by an opponent or something? Because I have no other idea why that would have happened after the fight.
I would say yes, actually, considering that.
Dramatic flair, or I can't think of another reason. Sorry.
Yeah, dramatic flair.
I would say for dramatics as well, to represent that he's actually dead and not coming back. Because if Dragon Ball's taught me anything, unless you watch the character get fucking de-atomized on the screen, they can come back. Frieza got chopped in half, blown up, had a planet blow up on him, and that dude still came back for that fade, you know? Like, the shit they do to bring back Dragon Ball characters is pretty ridiculous. Like, the best thing they did for Frieza when they brought him back for the Turn of His Power, they actually kept true to how the other world works and brought him back through is her name? Holy shit. What the fuck is Roshi's sister's name? I almost called her the witch from Dio, fucking Inyaba, which is not her name.
Fortune teller
The
Baba.
witch from Dio, but not JoJo's. Understood, sir.
Yeah, right.
Fortune teller
No, but-
Baba.
Baba, oh my gosh. I always mix up the two names, and I don't know why. No, but like they actually used Fortune Teller Baba for that, so like that's acceptable. Also, fucking the Granola arc ended before this movie came out for us, and what a fucking like. Okay, I wasn't big on the Granola arc this time around, especially reading it as a whole. It starts off really strong, and its midsection's pretty strong, but the ending is like almost Super 17 levels bad. It's like, oh my god, if Frieza didn't come in and steal the show, cackle into the fucking cosmos, I would have not liked the ending.
That ending's
I
a
bet
whole lot
Frieza
to
came
unpack.
by,
I feel like
said,
that's
"I'm
gonna be
stronger
another
than ever,
separate big
loser."
rant altogether at this point.
I mean, we got time. You know what, let me just go off here. Like, okay, so the Granola arc mostly gives us lore of like Bart, like actual canonical lore of Bardock, which a lot of people love, and all that, you know, and Goku actually having a fucking epiphany and remembering like what his father and mother actually looked like in his mind when he left to Earth. I had this dude tell me it's because they made Goku 10 when he came back to Earth, and I was like, you know, it's not what happened. And
What?
yeah,
What? He was sucking his thumb in the pod with 10. Ooh. I'm having a stroke after that one.
Wait, right. It doesn't destroy the original Dragon Ball, because what's funny is like I loved that whole sequence in the manga, because it's like that's something that never actually happened in any form of the anime that isn't like filler or fucking non-canon shit. So seeing it happen canonically is something that I wish was done sooner. And Vegeta in this arc fucking sucks. Like, he was great in the Moro arc. Vegeta was a fucking boss in the Moro arc. In the Granola arc, he just went, my hair is purple, my eyebrows are gone, hit me. Like, what the fuck?
Baby.
Yeah, that's gonna have to lead to something big later if they want to do anything useful with it.
This entire arc is gonna have to lead into something crazy. Because you can't... Like, there's like a different form of Ultra Instinct. Vegeta has... They hinted and showed that Goku could use Ultra Instinct in Super Saiyan forms.
Oh,
and they
God.
they showed Super Saiyan Blue Ultra Instinct, which you can't... First of all, you can't fucking tease me like that and show it for a panel to not do it again. Which makes me fear that it's never going to show up again.
No,
And
I
then
like
there's,
Ultra
like-
Instinct's cool, more base Goku hair. It looks better, like, objectively.
Anyways, you know, and then, like, Vegeta's Ultra Ego, which I just... Why didn't they just call it, like, God of Destruction Vegeta? It's obvious the same shit Topo did in the anime, but, like, different a little bit.
Same.
Yeah, right? He's not using Hakai energy either, which was really weird. And every time I saw Vegeta in that form, I got that headache feeling of getting hit in the head. I was like, oh. And then Granola's character arc ends on a really anticlimactic note that, like, after realizing he was wrong, he's just like, oh, I don't want revenge anymore, and I have 3 years left to live to the end. And it's like, that's it? You're not gonna do anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, he's just like, nah, Frieza shut up, killed my boss, and left. I'm good.
Frieza popped and made my boss look like a clown and called it a day, you know?
What did you think, General Blue, of the Granola arc's ending?
If we would have had, like, a few panels to remotely highlight that Frieza was gonna be at all a factor in this story, then it wouldn't have felt as out of nowhere. It basically just felt like... At this point, I'm not actually sure what the overarching conflict is or what the end goal is, because I'm assuming Frieza has some kind of contract with, or is at least scared shitless of Beerus, because, like, if he showed up, is now the strongest entity in the universe, and just KO'd Ultra Instinct Goku and Ultra Ego Vegeta without effort, and then left without doing anything else. Like, what is his goal at this point in time?
Yeah, because, like,
I don't hate the idea he got a power-up, though. Like, okay, the arc started with, there are Dragon Balls elsewhere in the universe, and he found basically a hyperbolic time chamber elsewhere in the universe. That's not unreasonable by any stretch. It's just, he just kind of showed up.
What's weird is, earlier in the arc, they mentioned how Gas has to kill Frieza, then Alex's plan's gonna go into motion. It's this big, grand plan, and I'm fine with Alex's plan being a complete dud, and Frieza just shitting on him, because, like, that's in character for Frieza, and it really shows why the universe is terrified of him. But, like, they could have at least shown, like, Frieza in that different dimension, like training or something, or doing something, so we would have had something to think about. Because him showing up at the end, going Black Frieza, which, like, I'm not opposed to Frieza having a new form. I don't care about that. It's more of, you can't drop a bombshell on us that he's actually trained for 10 fucking years and then just dips. Because he like, says, I'm in a good mood, I have to go do something. Takes the other heaters, makes them like his bitches on a ship, and then he leaves. And it's like, whatever they do for the next arc, it better carry that momentum. Because, like I said, the beginning of the Granola arc, and for a point, the midsection when they were fighting Granola in the gas, was really good. And then it lost a lot of steam, because they didn't have a way for Goku and Vegeta to win, because they made gas so fucking strong. So they just had Frieza show up and go, Duh!
I'm speaking with a heavy bias here. As a Frieza fanboy, that ending brought great joy to my heart, but that's because I am a big fanboy of Frieza.
I know this isn't, like, gonna be relevant, but if Frieza was in there for 10 years, how old can he actually live to be before he starts declining? Because, like, they've emphasized on quite a few occasions, Saiyans don't physically decline as they age until it's, like, the very end of their lives, but Frieza, I mean, I don't know, it just feels like now age doesn't really matter much in the Dragon Ball universe. Or maybe it will soon, and I'm just, I don't know.
No, it definitely does matter. It definitely does matter, but we've always known that Frieza's, like, whatever race Frieza is, like, there's a lot of benefits of being that thing, because, like, they can survive in space, they can survive almost any injury as long as it's not, like, being vaporized. Like, we saw Frieza was conscious when he was cut up, when they picked him up in ROF. They have the potential to get really strong. They can naturally blow up planets. Like, whatever he is, there's clearly a lot of fucking benefits to it. I would love to see if they, like my headcanon is just that he, can't die to aging, or he ages really slowly. I don't know. That's just my headcanon. If they confirm it, they confirm it. If not, who cares?
Maybe. Well, actually, yeah, because whenever we see flashbacks to, like, Planet Vegeta, he doesn't really seem that much younger then. And, you know, that was, what, 20-something years before Namek? So, yeah, maybe he actually just lives for several hundred years or something. Who knows?
I mean, it's 1,000.
Here's the issue. So, when we talk about years in a cosmic sense, we're talking about years based on our planet and solar system, whereas Frieza's years could be completely different. That, like, one of his years to him, or his species, could be, like, 20 Earth years, you know?
Yeah, one thing I like about Frieza and Super is he's honestly, like, he's almost as good as he was in Z. Yeah, he's not the main force, but, like, during the Tournament of Power, when Whis brought Frieza back to life, in the manga, it shows Whis taking Frieza back to wherever the fuck he belongs. And we said, oh, this could, like, be nothing or lead to our doom, who knows? And it's like, what the fuck? You can't just say that, bro.
Yeah, I guess after a while, if he's been exploring the universe that long, he probably just sticks to his own definition. That's actually... I was guilty of this too for a while, and internally I almost still am, as, like, I guess it one of those copium things, but a lot of people theorize the reason the infamous 5 minutes thing in Namek took so long is because the way Frieza defines a minute is significantly longer than the way a person from Earth would.
That's an old theory. So, the problem with that is, like, in space travel, you could make the argument that seconds, minutes, hours are like a universal thing. Like, if you just count to 60, you could say that's 1 minute.
Yeah.
But a year, like an Earth year, even in our solar system, an Earth year is not the same length of a year as Jupiter's year, you know? So, debatably, the whole, like, oh, Frieza's perceives 5 minutes is completely longer is just kind of goofy to me, because if you just count from 1 to 60, that's technically a minute, but also the whole 5 minutes thing, I think was just done for suspense.
Yeah. Maybe, who knows?
Well, that's... I mean,
but-
it's relative, I guess, to the planet, because in our solar system, for example, with Venus, it's... A year in Venus is technically longer than what a day would be, because of its rotation around the sun relative to its spin on its own axis.
Wacky world.
Yeah. So it goes through an entire loop around the sun before it actually spins enough to complete what we'd consider a full day.
How is it spinning that slow? I don't care. Anyways,
Science, gargle science.
Venus almost shouldn't even exist, because if you ever look at pictures of the thing that was taken from telescopes, it basically looks like a hell stage in any kind of PS2 video game, basically.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I gotta say though, like overall, back to the hero movie is like,
Yeah.
I gotta say, like Pan was just the character interactions are so good. Piccolo's interactions with Pan were so cute, and Pan is just like she's not a cancer or a tumor like she was in GT. She's actually.
Well, I feel like you'd be a monster to write a 3-year-old Pen as anything but a wholesome, innocuous child who everybody would look at and be like, oh, look at the cute kid being a kid. You know, like, if she was gonna be as annoying and snippy as she was in GT, I'd be like, damn, someone doesn't like Pan.
Yeah, right.
I'm so tired.
No, but I've mostly stayed off. Like, I've been doing my best to stay off of like big pages for the movie though, because like the comment sections are so vile, and the fact I've seen people like, I'm not watching the movie because it's CGI. Okay.
And
Like,
I have to start actually doing rants about it soon, and I almost dread the reaction I'll get. Like, okay, personally, I did like the movie quite a lot. Whenever a movie's fresh in my mind, I consider it really good, and maybe I might sour on this a bit as time passes and I think more about it. Like, I had problems with the movie, but I still really liked it. I know some people did not care for it, though, and I can sort of see why, but I really liked it.
yeah. I don't know. I saw some people complaining that Red Ribbon made androids that strong again, but it's like,
They made androids as conveniently as strong as, like, the peak our protagonists were currently at. They just went, and they were strong. Whatever. Strength in Dragon Ball doesn't actually matter. The only thing that matters is character does thing to build suspense, to get to a fight. Things happen to keep you on the edge of your seat and be like, are they gonna lose? That's why things happen.
I mean, if you'll allow my tinfoil hat theories for a second, Hedo was a big fan of superheroes and comic books, and what was like the 60s and 70s in comic books? We had people that could basically... We had literally had an issue where Superman sneezed and moved the planets out of orbit in a different solar system. So, I think he just designed these guys to be over-the-top and bombastic like nobody's business.
Yeah, literally. But, like, they were so bombastic and over the top that Piccolo, like, the kabam, the onomatopoeias that were coming out of the, like, thin air were actual, like, hologram projections that were programmed into Gamma 1 and 2 for the sake of superhero flair.
Piccolo literally went Am I seeing words? Like, when he got hit. Like, I don't know, this movie had so much character and stuff. It was just awesome. And
Also, are we just gonna ignore the fact that Piccolo's blatantly afraid of his cell phone?
oh yeah, no, he watched Death Note. That's why he holds his cell phone like that.
Piccolo subscribes to the L school of holding cell phones, staring at it like a confused child.
He gets great service, though. He gets reception in a secret military base. He gets it in Corrin's tower, like 12 miles above Earth or whatever it's supposed to be.
Powered by Key.
I guess so.
Also, I like the fact that Gohan and Videl have just been giving Piccolo plushies, and he claims he doesn't like them, yet he has kept them in like a neat little pile in his like not like a messy pile, but almost like a ritualistic pyramid of like plushiness.
I love that, dude.
Just pretty funny to me.
One thing I will say is, like, the beginning of the movie boils up the movie, like who the antagonists are really well and what to do. And it really shows off how, like, smart Jiro's grandson is, because I'm not even going to attempt to say his name again, not after the whole meme y'all did to me. Because, like, I guess it's just common on Earth for, like, hyper geniuses to just build mega death androids. And, like, imagine if Bulma just, like, did that.
I mean, Bulma probably could. The only thing that's preventing her is laziness or wasting time to find the Dragon Ball so she can wish to have a thicker butt. Vegeta's gonna come back from Whis and just be like,
I don't know, the sequence on Whis' plant, like, I saw some people complain that Beerus had a crush on Chile, but, like, I didn't really care, because we kind of need Beerus to have more character traits that aren't just eat, sleep, make empty threats of erasing Goku, eat, sleep.
like
You
all
know?
I'm saying is Beerus has got an A+ taste in women. Short with a nice butt and short hair. Like,
No, Phil. Green.
Shut up.
No, that's definitely why he puts up with Bulma's nonsense, because if Vegeta ever bites it in combat, he thinks he's the #1 draft pick.
I mean, knowing Bulma, she might just. Knowing Bulma, you know, so she's already married to. I mean, I know there's only like 4 Saiyans running around, but like, she's married to a prince of an intergalactic species. It only makes sense she would jump to an actual deity. Like, clearly she's too high class for anyone else.
No, Beerus is gonna remember when she slept him, and he's gonna be like, "Fuck you, bitch."
Maybe he wants that. Maybe, who knows? We don't know anything about Beerus, so he could be like a BDSM dom, dude. Bulma would actually keep all women away from him.
You just hear like some sweaty nerd writing this down as I hear this right now. Now I need someone, Phil. You know you know the Boorus profile.
I'm not putting Boorus in bondage gear. How dare you?
Okay, can you just put a Kit mask on him for like a day?
No. Maybe if this comes out and somebody cites the exact moment when I said Beerus in bondage gear, then I might entertain the thought, but not right now.
I guarantee
Well,
if you
also,
dig
I'm
hard enough,
lazy
it already
Photoshop.
exists on the internet, and I'm not digging for that right now.
It probably is on the internet, and I'm too lazy to do that.
No, because it's not that you're too lazy to do it. You just don't want to be mentally scarred.
Look, if you've seen some of the things I've had to see on the internet, Beerus in bondage gear is like kitty
Twitter.
shit.
Listen,
I follow some artists on Twitter for like I actually follow some Dragon Ball artists on Twitter, and some of them are like, "Oh, dude, that's a really amazing like classic Toriyama style Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black." Then you scroll down, it's like, "Oh, that's a picture of someone's hentai page of like a giant schlong being put up someone's butt." I totally want to see that. It's like, I love that. Thank you, Facebook.
If you're a Twitter artist who does not have a separate safe for work and not safe for work account, you literally do nothing but choose violence in the mornings, and it is very clear to me that that is the case in
Listen,
some people.
some of the stuff I saw, like not safe for work Dragon Ball fan art, that I saw when I was a teenager, that I literally found just by Google searching with safe search off. not even having to dig through like actual less
Oh, yeah,
mainstream
yeah.
sites, let's say. Some of that stuff has left permanent mental scars. I feel like, I can't say this objectively because I don't exactly know how other communities are. The only other community I've seen that does it remotely this badly is like the Final Fantasy team when they do smut stuff, because their stuff goes, wow, you have a lot of
They
bad,
go
people have
hard.
a lot of bad rants about that.
Yeah.
I'm just used to it. Like the moment something like actually Pokemon fans make smut of characters the millisecond they're announced. So yeah, it's actually kind of upsetting. Don't take me, demons. Not today.
Anyways, overall, I would say when it comes to like best Dragon Ball movies, I'd put Superhero at like a number 4 spot, like top 5 at least. I'm still gonna be a loser and put Battle of Gods at number 1 because I think Battle of Gods is a legitimately an amazing Dragon Ball movie.
Yeah, Battle of Gods had such a big impact on me, especially that, like, in
Battle
my
of
heart, I
Gods
feel it should
matters
still be
a
number
lot.
1, but even if it's not, like, the most, I guess, entertaining in an individual watch.
The reason Battle of Gods to me is, well, for starters, it introduced Beerus, and I like Beerus. Second, it kind of was the renaissance of Dragon Ball, because at the time, Dragon Ball was pretty stale. We were getting, like, maybe some hero stuff that was kind of hard to, get by, depending if you didn't know where to go, or we just weren't interested in spin-offs. And we were getting video games. Z had been ended for, like, a while. Oh wait, Dragon Ball Z Kai was still getting reran, but people were very down on Kai when it came out. GT was over for like maybe 10, 20 years at that point, and whatnot. So yeah.
I would say GT was over, like, because we're talking about the 2010s, right? Like, yeah, GT was over for a fucking while by that point. It's weird that GT gets like praised these days, because like,
It's when a series gets more and more new things, or has more and more or like, you pull a Sonic the fucking Hedgehog and you get a bunch of low points, people will retroactively look at things and whether it be a majority or minority with that, like, it's the internet, you can never really gauge how many people actually agree with it, but they'll have takes that are suddenly in the opposite swing of that, like, original take. Like, the pendulum will shift elsewhere. People are suddenly down on Sonic Colors because of Sonic Forces, and I'm like, what the fuck? But Sonic Colors is actually amazing. And then, Dragon Ball Super came out. Those first couple of episodes were so horrendously animated that people suddenly were just like, oh, GT was actually a magnum opus and not dog water. It's just like, whatever. People do it constantly. People do it with Star Wars, Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, music, it's just how people are.
Like, to a certain extent, when so many people on the internet say, when they're disappointed by something and say it's like a travesty of filmmaking or whatever, then okay, it's perfectly fine if after the heat has died down, everyone's like, no, I enjoyed this and I think it's fair if other people did too. I got no problem with that. It's just the cycle kind of perpetuates where they now slander the new nonsense and try holding theirs up as like the peak of the franchise, which a lot of the times that's not even close to what happens.
Star Wars prequel fans be like,
listen, I could do like an hour-long solo rant about that. I'm not gonna say it here, because, oh buddy, if I do.
I mean, we can plan it for next time. We can actually just like AVGN the shit.
I don't know, maybe. I kind of want to talk about tournaments, though, in our next vid, because I know you mentioned that before.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments, or
Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Gaming in general, because I don't go to Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments, I go to Smash Bros. Tournaments, though. Actually, hell with it. I'm gonna say this part now, because I know I did not tell either of you guys this, and I'm actually curious to hear your responses while we're here on the mic. So, the second tournament I ever went to in central Pennsylvania, would you believe me if I told you there was an actual pro player at the event for Smash Ultimate?
Yeah, I believe you.
Do you know who it is, though? Or who it would have been?
Oh, wait.
My PC disconnected.
Alright,
Now.
My phone's actually at 3%, so y'all can finish this conversation. But thanks for having me, and we'll try to do this again sooner. I swear.
Oh, that's the end of it. That was fun.
Wait.
That was fine.
The guy, before you go, quick, I just want to say, the guy was Peanut. He's known as the best Little Mac player in the world, basically, and he got third place.
Wait, he got third? Who
Yes.
beat him?
At a tournament with only about 55 people, he got third place.
That's actually a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
That's
That's
like a
a lot
decent
of
regional, but the thing is, it's central Pennsylvania, so we attract people from the Pittsburgh and Philly regions, which are big in Smash. Peanut's not even from Pennsylvania, he's from, like, Virginia, so I don't know why he hiked it all the way up here, but it probably wasn't worth it if he only took third, unfortunately.
This
No
dude was out
disrespect
for
to the
blood.
guy, though. He's an absurdly good
He was
player.
out to take fucking names,
Alright.
and then getting third's still good, but you know people are gonna be like, "You didn't get first, loser."
Yeah, basically.
Anyways, that's our kind of madman ramblings about the movie and granola arc.
Yeah, it may
Well, I'm
be
gonna
best
go
to just
back.
stop here because we're getting a little off topic, but we'll have more of these in the near future.
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, we'll find
Anyway,
out.
Anyways,
But until then,
See.
thank you guys for joining me, and
go. Yep.
thank everyone for listening.
Alright.
We will see y'all next time.
bye bye.
Bye bye.